Hi class, how are you? I hope you're doing great. Welcome to another day of learning opportunity. I am teacher Jennifer C. Alboro and I will be discussing new topic in English. The objectives are, at the end of the lesson, you will be able to identify the meaning of the words taken from a literary text and understand how the literary texts are influenced by one's culture, status, and environment. Now I have a question for you, class. Who should be responsible to the moral education of a child? Is it the parents, the society, the school, or everyone? You can comment down below your answers. And now, class, here are the vocabulary words that will appear in the story to be narrated. You look for the suggested definition of the word and you choose the correct answer.
Number 1, tug. Letter A, force. Letter B, pull. Letter C, steal. Letter D, shoot. Number 2, permit. A, allow. B, keep. C, push. Letter D, worry. Number 3, stoop. A, forget. B, run away. C, bend over. Letter D, fool. Number 4, frail. Letter A, strong. Letter B, tall. Letter C, athletic. Letter D, delicate. Number 5, bothering. A, whispering. B, annoying. Letter C, stealing. D, meeting. Number 6, sweat. A, perspiration. B, cake. C, dessert. D, blasphemy. Number 7, snatch. A, trick. B, watch. C, grab. D, follow. Number 8, the last number, frowned. A, grimaced. B, discovered. C, smiled. Letter D, laughed.
The correct answer for number 1 is pull. Number 2, allow. Number 3, bend over. Number 4, delicate. Number 5, annoying. Number 6, perspiration. Number 7, grab. And the last number, number 8, is grimace. Who got the correct answer or the perfect score? Okay, you comment down below your score. And now, class, it's time for you to listen to the story entitled Thank You, Mom by Langston Hughes.
It was about 11 o'clock at night, and a woman was walking alone. She was a large woman with a large purse that had everything in it but hammer and nails. It had a long strap, and she carried it slung across her shoulder. Suddenly, a boy ran up behind her and tried to snatch her purse. The strap broke with a single tug that the boy gave it from behind. But the boy's weight and the weight of the purse combined caused him to lose his balance. So instead of taking off full blast, as he had hoped, the boy fell on his back on the sidewalk, and his legs flew up. The large woman simply turned around and kicked him right square in his blue jean sitter. She picked the boy up by his shirt front and shook him until his teeth rattled. And after that,
"Pick up my pocketbook, boy, and give it here."
she still held him tightly, but she bent down enough to permit him to stoop and pick up her purse.
"Now ain't you ashamed of yourself?
Yes,
What did you want to do it for?
I didn't aim to.
You lie."
By that time 2 or 3 people passed, stopped, turned to look, and some stood watching.
"If I turn you loose, will you run?" Then I won't turn you loose.
I'm very sorry, lady. I'm sorry.
Your face is dirty. I got a great mind to wash your face for you. Ain't you got nobody home to tell you to wash your face?
No, ma'am.
Then it will get washed this evening.
The large woman starting up the street, dragging the frightened boy behind her. He looked as if he were 14 or 15, frail and willow wild, in tennis shoes and blue jeans.
You ought to be my son. I would teach you right from wrong. Least I can do right now is to wash your face. Are you hungry?
No. I just want you to turn me loose.
Was I bothering you when I turned that corner? But you put yourself in contact with me. If you think that contact is not going to last a while, you got another thought coming. When I get through with you, sir, you are going to remember Mrs. Luella Bates Washington Jones.
Sweat popped out on the boy's face, and he began to struggle. Mrs. Jones stopped, jerked him around in front of her, and put a half Nelson about his neck, and continued to drag him up the street. When she got to her door, she dragged the boy inside, down a hall, and into a large kitchenette-furnished room at the rear of the house. She switched on the light, and left the door open. The boy could hear other roomers laughing and talking in the large house. Some of their doors were open too, so he knew that the women were not alone.
What is your name?
Roger.
Then Roger, you go to that sink and wash your face.
At last she turned him loose. Roger looked at the door, looked at the woman, looked at the door, and went to the sink.
Let the water run until it gets warm. Here's a clean towel.
You gonna take me to jail?
Not with that face. I would not take you nowhere. Here I am trying to get home, to cook me a bite to eat, and you snatch my pocketbook. Maybe you ain't been to your supper either, late as it be. Have you?
There's nobody home at my house.
Then we'll eat. I believe you're hungry, or been hungry to try to snatch my pocketbook.
I wanted a pair of blue suede shoes.
Well, you didn't have to snatch my pocketbook to get some suede shoes. You could have asked me.
Madam? The water dripping from his face. The boy looked at her. There was a long pause. A very long pause. After he had dried his face, and not knowing what else to do, dried it again, the boy turned around, wondering what next. The door was open. He could make a dash for it down the hall. He could run, and run. A woman was sitting on the day bed.
I were young once, and I wanted things I could not get.
There was another long pause. The boy's mouth opened. Then he frowned, but not knowing he frowned.
You thought I was going to say but, didn't you? You thought I was going to say, but I didn't snatch people's pocketbooks. Well, I wasn't going to say that. I have done things, too, which I would not tell you, son, and neither tell God, if he didn't already know. So you sit down, while I fix us something to eat. You might run that comb through your hair, so you will look presentable.
Mrs. Jones went to the kitchen, and she did not watch the boy, if he was going to run now, nor did she watch her purse, which she left behind her on the day bed. But the boy took care to sit on the far side of the room, where he thought she could easily see him out of the corner of her eye, if she wanted to. He did not trust the woman not to trust him. And he did not want to be mistrusted now. Do you need somebody to go to the store? Maybe to get some milk or something?
Don't believe I do. Unless you just want sweet milk yourself. I was going to make cocoa out of this canned milk I got here.
That will be fine. She heated some lima beans and ham she had in the icebox, made the cocoa, and set the table. The woman did not ask the boy anything about where he lived, or his folks, or anything else that would embarrass him. Instead, as they ate, she told him about her job in a hotel beauty shop that stayed open late, what the work was like, and how all kinds of women came in and out. Blondes, redheads, and Spanish. Then she cut him a half of her 10-cent cake.
Eat some more, son.
When they were finished eating, she got up and...
Now, here, take this $10 and buy yourself some blue suede shoes. And next time, do not make the mistake of latching onto my pocketbook, nor nobody else's, because shoes can buy devilish like that, will burn your feet. I got to get my rest now. But I wish you would behave yourself, son, from here on.
She led him down the hall to the front door and opened it.
Good night. Behave yourself, boy.
Thank you, ma'am. The boy wanted to say something else other than thank you, ma'am. To you, ma'am. The boy wanted to say something else other than thank you, ma'am, to Mrs. Luella Bates Washington Jones. But he couldn't do so as he turned at the Baron's tube and looked back at the large woman in the door. He barely managed to say thank you before.
Okay, so that's the end of the story, class. I have here the follow-up questions. First, if you were Roger, would you trust Mrs. Jones right away? If you were Roger, would you run? At this moment, class, you remember the most recent act of kindness you did for someone. Why did you do it? And for your activity, you're going to deliver the following questions through a speech delivery, spoken poetry, broadcasting, and vlogging. And now for the last activity, you're going to defend your answer. Who should be responsible to the moral education of a child? Is it the parents, society, the school, or everyone? Okay, so you generalize your ideas or the theme of the story, class. You comment down below what's the topic all about and what have you learned. And that's the end of my discussion. Thank you. Till next time. Goodbye,